What is up there, YouTube? I have a video on a strange photograph I actually used in my last video called 5 Rare Japanese Tanks That Could Have Been Useful in the Second World War. And in that video, I had showed a photograph of what is supposed to be a Type 100 OI tank that was supposedly captured by Soviet forces during the Soviet invasion of Manchuria in 1945. Now, this photograph was taken by a man named Yuri Pashiluk, and this photograph shows two Russian soldiers standing in front of what is said to be a derivative of the Type 100 OI super heavy tank project that was developed between 1940 and 1945. The Type 100 OI was a series of experimental tanks that were designed to be heavy breakthrough tanks. They were designed to be used by the Imperial Japanese forces against either the Americans or maybe the Chinese forces during the war in the Pacific. This photograph has been on the internet for many years. It first appeared in the mid-2000s, and many claim that this is an experimental variant of the Type 100 OI tank, as there was more than one prototype of the OI that was built between 1940 and 1945. This photograph was taken in a region known as Kotari Fortress in Manchuria. Now, I actually been trying to figure out where this fortress was located, and I can't seem to find it right now, but maybe I will in the future. Anyway, according to the original uploader, the vehicle or turreted object in this photograph was later blown up by Soviet demolition crews after the end of World War II, after Japan had surrendered to the Allies and the Soviets had pretty much taken over all of the Japanese territory in China and Korea. So whatever this tank or this vehicle was pretty much destroyed at the end of World War II, and there is a photograph to actually show that this vehicle was actually blown up. Over the years, this photograph has been used by various, tank enthusiasts to prove that Japan had developed more than just one or two Type 100 OIs, or more than one or two Japanese super heavy tank projects. And it's actually true, Japan actually did have more than one super heavy tank or heavy tank project. Now, I actually don't know if this is a real Type 100 OI. I'm just assuming because everywhere I look, everywhere I find this photograph, people say that this is a Type 100 OI or some variation of the Type 100 OI that was based in China and was later captured and destroyed by Soviet forces. Now, this vehicle actually appears in the video game World of Tanks under the name Type 5 Heavy, also known as the Type 2605, and it is depicted in the game as a super heavy variant of the Type 100 OI, or an advanced version of the Type 100 OI project. But the problem is there is no official blueprints of this vehicle. The Soviets did make sketches of this vehicle, and these sketches have actually been provided by Mr. Yuri, or by the Soviet or Russian archives many years later. And I have seen these sketches over the last couple of years, so I don't know if these are authentic sketches or if these are just, reproduction sketches made years afterwards. But the sketches do look authentic, and they are based on what the Soviet demolition crews saw before they destroyed this vehicle in 1945. So what do you all think? Is this vehicle here a Type 100 OI? Many tank enthusiasts and historians I've seen on the internet believe that it is a Japanese super heavy tank, but they don't know if it's an OI tank or if it's some other project that was never documented, or the documentation on this project was probably lost at the end of the war. Another theory is that this is just some fortress turret, and I actually thought that too. The Japanese did build fortresses, just like most countries did in the 1930s and 40s. And some of those fortresses did have rotating turrets, large naval turrets. For example, look at Battleship Island, off the coast of Japan. That area did have some coastal artillery at one point. And in the U.S., off the coast of the U.S., we also had large turreted fortifications on our coastline too. And just look at the Atlantic Wall in Normandy, France, you know. In Normandy, France, the Germans constructed large fortifications along the coast of occupied France, and some of those fortifications included large, giant rotating turrets. So the theory is that this photograph is not actually a tank, but it is actually a giant rotating turret. But many believe that this is the Type 100 OI. I actually do believe that this is actually a tank, you know, or at least it might have been the component, you know, the chassis of an unfinished tank project that was probably just used as a dug-in and emplacement towards the end of the war once the Japanese realized they didn't have any resources to complete this project. But what do you all think? Do you think this is a Type 100 OI variant or derivative used as a dug-in fortification in China or Korea? Some sources state that this photograph is from Korea. Or do you think this is just some fortress turret? I actually used this in my last video on 5 rare Japanese tanks that could have been useful in World War II, but looking back, it might not have been a smart idea to do that, as, you know, no one really knows what this is, and it's just rumored to be a Type 100. This is why in that video I claimed that the Type 100 was sent to China, where it was lost and destroyed by the Soviets, and it's because of this photograph, which the Russians claim was a Type 100 variant that was captured in China and later blown up by Soviet demolition crews at the end of World War II. So what do you all think of this photograph? Tell me in the comment section below. And until next time, this was J-Man Time, signing off.